special guest today. Woo!
I'm all fixed up, spiffed up. You look all spiffed up too. I got all red because Christmas is coming.
Me too.
Yeah, Santa Claus likes red. What's going on today?
Well, we've got a special guest coming in here today, and it's a surprise for the kids. And then Christmas is coming soon, and I'm so excited. Woo-hoo!
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Think we need to sing a Christmas song?
I do.
Okay, let's go. We're going on a Christmas song. Well, let's do Rudolph. That's always a Christmas song.
Okay.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw it, well, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names, and they never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. But then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say,
Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
And then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee,
Yippee!
Hey Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, well you'll go down in history. Ooh, that's pretty good.
That was
Ringing bells,
good.
oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. I love that.
Ooh, I do
That
too.
is very good.
Ooh, I hear jingle bells. They're not mine.
Well,
Hi,
I say you're looking fetching today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I sent Santa on ahead. Has he gotten here yet?
No.
He hasn't.
No.
You know, I bet they took a wrong turn up at Summit again.
He probably stopped up there to get something to eat and something.
Well, maybe he's all the time eating
Yeah.
something, you know.
Every time there's somewhere to eat, he stops and sits down.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness, he'll be on in a
bet.
few minutes.
Sugar
Well, sit
rush.
down here and talk to us a minute.
Well, how y'all doing? You ready for Christmas?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm
Oh.
excited.
I've been checking the naughty and nice list.
Have you?
Mhm. Your names are on the nice list.
Good. I was worried for a minute.
Yeah.
If I ever talk, it won't be on there.
Well, maybe we could
Well,
read a
look, before
book or
he's
something.
here, tell us a little bit about Santa Claus. Is he as pleasant and jolly at home as he is everywhere else?
He is the sweetest thing. Everybody loves Santa. Oh, he's got that little dimple in his cheek and that twinkle in his eye.
Does his little belly shake like his little belly shake like jellyfish?
Like a bowl full. Yes, it does.
Look,
And-
one thing I really want to know is, does he put the garbage out for you?
Well, you know, we have some very nice elves who take care of those kind of little chores.
No wonder
because
he stays in a good mood. If I had elves in my house, I'd be in a good mood
But
too.
he does like to do, you know, shovel the snow and things like that. He likes yard work.
Yeah, does he?
He does, and he feeds the reindeer.
He has to keep the barn up, keep the
He
reindeer
does.
clean.
He takes care of them because, you know, those reindeer are very important because
Well.
come Christmas Eve, they're the ones that help
Do all
get him
the work.
around the world all the time.
Right.
Do y'all know, let's see, is Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen and Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen?
Very good, Miss Nettie. And that little
Rudolph.
that you were singing.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
Rudolph.
Yes.
I really like that. You know, I thought Rudolph was so kind and so sweet. He was so humble and gentle. If it had been me, I'd have said, nah, 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 nah. I get to be the leader.
But he did.
He was a good lad.
He
wasn't
was.
Well, are we supposed to do a story while we wait on
We
Santa?
could, sure. That'd be
Okay.
fine. You want me to read one?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
see you've got a special one here.
Do have a special story here.
Do you really like Christmas stories?
I love them. They're my favorite genre of books. Sure, yeah. I love Christmas.
What is that kind of word you use?
Genre?
I'm impressed.
Yeah, it means, do you like biographies about people? Do you like history? Do you like mysteries? Do you like romances? Like, all kinds, but yeah, I love Christmas. And this is a very good one. It's called A Christmas House. Have you ever heard of this book?
I'd like to hear it. It
It's a
sounds
sweet
good.
story. It's about a family, and they've just moved to a new neighborhood. And you know, a lot of times children and families do have to move away from the home they've been in for a long time, and they move to a new neighborhood. And it's sometimes hard to make friends in a new neighborhood. But this is a really sweet story about how this family has learned how to use their talents and their friendliness and have a whole bunch of new neighbors and friends. Okay, want to read? All right. The notes of a piano interrupted the hush of a cool December evening. There was Christmas music stirring throughout the air, and it was stirring around in the minds of those who listened too. Just like I could hear you singing that Rudolph song, you know, and it reminded me of Rudolph back at home in the North Pole. Kathleen is the mother. Kathleen didn't know the effect her playing was having on her neighbors. They hadn't really talked to her since she'd moved in last month. You know, people are busy, they're going here and there, taking care of their children and their families and their jobs. Sometimes we don't get to be as friendly with our new neighbors as we ought to be. She had simply opened up the front window to let in a bit of cool air because her husband, George, that's George right there, he had built up a fire in the new chimney there for the baby to enjoy. And sometimes when you get a fireplace going, it gets the room a little warm and you want a little fresh air. So they'd opened up the window, and of course our beautiful music could be heard outside.
Wow.
Well, right next door, Miss Link stopped unloading the trunk full of presents that she had just bought, and she looked at the musical cottage. In the past, she had thought about it as being kind of not a very nice looking little house there on the street. But tonight, those saggy front steps seemed like they might have been smiling at her. And it made her want to climb up those steps and meet whoever was living there inside. The music wrapped its arms around her. I love that expression. You know how music can just wrap itself around you sometimes. And she remembered the warmth of her mama's voice, who sang softly while they baked cookies back when she was a girl. And without realizing what she was doing, she started walking over toward that house. Standing there on the front sidewalk, listening to that beautiful music from the piano, she let it hug her like her mama's hug. Mr. Jacobs was another neighbor, and he was out walking his dog, Baxter, when he heard music coming from the little cottage. He had seen the young woman and her husband moving into the house, but he'd been very busy, and he didn't even stop to help them carry in the boxes. Tonight, the window and the crooked shutters seemed to be blinking and blinking at him, and he stopped to linger and listen to the music. He could hear in that music his grandpa's voice telling him that same story as they searched for the perfect Christmas tree, and he could almost smell the pine needles as he let the music cover him.
Everybody's dreaming about things that used to happen.
That's right,
When I hear
that's
that
right,
music.
that's right. That's what music can do to you sometimes, you know. Thad was a young boy, and he'd been skateboarding over the curbs and through the driveways, and he came back around when he heard the music coming in. The man who lived there had waved at him last week, trying to be friendly, but he'd just been so busy going down the street on his skateboard, he hadn't even waved back. But this time, the music made him smile, and it brought back all that excitement that he felt when he was younger a few Christmases ago, and he went in to bounce on top of his brother's bed and wake him up early so they could run downstairs and see what Santa Claus had left them. Standing next to the man in the white hair and the dog and the woman with her presents, he let the carol hold him too. So all these people, neighbors, are stopping to listen to her music. A little girl named Anna walked outside, and she was carrying a tray of hot cocoa. You like hot cocoa?
Yes.
Oh, it's one of Santa Claus's favorite things to
Yes,
drink.
like that.
And he puts marshmallows on top too.
Me too.
Yeah. She was about to go back inside to fetch her sign that read, "Hot chocolate, 25 cents." She was trying to make a little Christmas money, probably to buy her mama a present. And she heard the song that her grandmother used to play coming from the little cottage, and the music made her think about being with her grandmother again. Maybe she could learn to play the piano, she was thinking about her grandmother, and the music hugged her too.
Wow.
So there they all are, standing in front of the house.
The pictures are great.
I love the pictures. No one looked at each other and no one spoke. They're just all lost in their own memories, good memories. Until a sound even sweeter than the music came across the wind. It was a little gurgle, a little coo, and Anna said, "There's a baby in there, and I think he's laughing." And she moved up onto the porch. "Wait a minute, I'll hold on to your tray," Thad said. Mrs. Lynx trotted up behind them and struggled to keep hold of her shopping bag, and Mr. Jacobs followed her, hoping the baby would like his dog. On tiptoe, the four neighbors crept up the steps, and together they leaned in toward the door while Anna knocked, and the music stopped. George, the daddy, you remember, he answered the door. Standing in front of him were the neighbors who'd done very little to make his family feel welcome. Maybe it was the look in their eyes or the shuffling of their feet that persuaded him to invite them in. He was a kind man to do that way. Or maybe the music had opened up his own heart, letting the hurt out and the people that had caused it to come in. You know, he kind of gotten his feelings hurt about the way
Because
the
everybody
neighbors
was
hadn't
so,
been welcoming.
it was so
you know.
unfriendly, weren't
And it kind of makes me stop and think sometimes
Yeah.
we all need to be more
Yeah.
welcoming to our new neighbors. "We haven't come empty-handed," Mrs. Lynx said. She stepped inside and held up her sack. There wasn't very much furniture in the room, except for the old piano and a bench. As Mrs. Lynx looked at the happy couple and the tiny baby snuggled up in its blankets, she was kind of ashamed at having shopped for so much and had been trying to buy the feeling of love and contentment. She decided she needed to give away some of that, and she placed her gifts under their tree in hope that the new family could exchange them maybe for something useful if they didn't want them. That was kind of her, wasn't it?
it?
Yes.
Christmas spirit's getting a hold of them.
Mhm. Mr. Jacobs led Baxter close to the baby so that his little outstretched hands could feel that dog's silky fur. Miss Mattie, do you have a dog?
I used to.
You did?
Yeah, Sappy, or
Fred?
she liked her.
Yeah. Do you have a dog as well?
I have 2 dogs.
Yeah, so you pet their dogs a lot too, I bet. Mr. Jacob sat next to his dog and wished they could stay there until the baby, beside that baby all night. He wanted some time to think about all that he could remember of the good things. Anna passed out the hot cocoa and they all enjoyed every sip. Thad introduced himself to George. "I used to skateboard," George said. "That's the daddy. Can you see him on the skateboard?" "You ought to see Santa try to get on a skateboard. He's done it before when his skateboard's in the, he had to try it out, you know. He did okay, but he's better on a bicycle." Thad thought of the extra board in his closet that would make a perfect Christmas present for his new neighbor. Tomorrow he'd bring it over to him, and they would ride the skateboard together. "Please play again," Anna asked Kathleen. Kathleen looked into Anna's shiny brown eyes. She saw the warmth he'd been wanting from her neighbors. "If you'll sit on the bench with me," Kathleen said to Anna with a smile. See, she's encouraging her to want to play the piano, ain't she? When the music began, Baxter, "Ho!"
He sang too.
Did your dog sing when you were playing,
used to.
Daddy? Laughter filled the house, and George nodded at the dog, holding the baby in his arms, and led the others over to the piano. Everybody gathered around and let the music hold them again. I love that expression, don't you? And look, there's a little nativity set up.
Oh, I love it.
Because you know, Christmas has a special reason for the
Yes,
season.
that's
right.
Jesus, that's right.
You know, Miss Santa Claus Scooter Mouse wrote a song, and it's called "Jesus is the reason for the season. We sing our songs of praise and joy. Jesus is the reason for the season, 'cause Mary had a little baby boy."
Oh, I like that, Miss Mattie.
He makes us sing that all the time.
All
the
the
time.
time.
He wrote that.
We don't know that one. So soon the sounds of all their voices were ringing out the window into the soft night air. They were spreading the joy of Christmas.
All the children at home will love that. Wasn't that
I'm
a
gonna
wonderful?
have to add that one to our list
I
of
like that
books
book.
for Christmas presents to put in people's stockings. Well, is that Jingle Bells?
I hear
Do I have to sing
something.
Jingle Bells?
I hear something.
Let's sing Jingle Bells, and maybe that's old Santa coming finally.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride and run our open
How are you, Miss Mattie and Lori and Michelle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a soft seat. I'm so tired. Not really, not for the children. I get excited, yes.
Where have you been?
What's the matter? I've been
You
up.
were supposed to have been here
I've been-
30 minutes ago.
I'm in the playground looking at for
Trying out that skateboard
the kids.
again.
Skateboard again, Miss Claude. There she looks so pretty.
Oh, beautiful.
We've been married so many years, I forgot how to count.
And she's still your favorite girl, isn't
She's
she?
my only girl. Well, that's right. And there's good hot chocolate.
Well, maybe we say that you make a fetching couple. You do.
Well,
You
we
look
try.
great.
We never had one argument, have we?
No, not one.
No. This is so nice.
Well, Santa, we kind of want to interview you for the children watching us out there. We wanted to ask you a couple of things. Think of something you want to ask you. I wanted to ask you if he had ever been stuck in a chimney.
Oh, listen, let me tell you about these chimneys. These new homes are beautiful, but they have very small chimneys. So I have to hold my breath and push my nose and whoop, down I go.
Down the chimney.
Yeah.
With the whole by Jimmy. You were
It
trained down the
is
chimney.
not easy. And getting up, it's hard. It's
Place
very
his
hard.
finger beside his nose,
No.
not in it, beside his
Oh.
nose, and gives a
Very
nod.
hard.
And up he goes.
And I play around with it.
Do you
It
ever
works.
sometimes just go in by the door, maybe
I
leave
love
the door
doors.
open when the
I
children
love
come?
doors. I love doors. Matter of fact, children, make sure your door's unlocked. Maybe not.
Well, look, I always want to know too, what is your favorite snack?
My favorite is, I love cookies. I
Yeah.
really do. Chocolate chip cookies.
Uh-huh.
I just love them. And carrots for my Rudolph and my reindeers. But I like those little Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, do you? And
Yeah.
what do you like? Of course, you like hot chocolate to drink.
Hot chocolate's so good.
You don't ever like sweet tea?
Am I in the South?
Yeah.
I love sweet tea.
Oh, good.
You were tricking Santa away from her. Up north is coffee.
Okay.
But I just love candy, any kind of candy.
Well, when you first get home after Christmas night and Easter, Christmas Eve, and you get through, you get to your job. Is Miss Santa Claus waiting for you with
She's there.
she's there?
Lights on.
Yeah, you pull those boots off, you feel
Pull the
more
boots
out,
off and I sit in my chair and I go,
and go take your little nap.
that's the truth. That's the truth. Yes.
Well, we so appreciate you coming to see us. We know you're busy and you've got lots of things to do, but we appreciate you coming to Miss Laura's Story Hour.
This is beautiful.
Isn't it pretty? Her
Yes.
living room is so pretty.
Yes, Laura, you did a great job. It's Christmas time.
Thank
And
you.
Michelle, she's the high-tech engineer. She's a labeler, as they call her.
You know, the old virus tried to make give us lemons, but we've made lemonade with it. And the being able to do the computer for the children to see it at home is wonderful.
It
you
is
know?
wonderful. That's the computer is the age.
If it wasn't for Miss Laura, we couldn't do it.
Right.
The old saying, we killed a man, Papa shot him. We have story out, but Miss Laura is the one that does it.
I love my children, and they're right in there, ain't they, huh?
They are.
Thank you for coming today.
Am I able to see through the lens and see their rooms?
Can you see their rooms?
Huh? Oh, they're nice and clean.
Oh.
Yes.
And the toys all picked up in Baxter's
Yes,
room.
we have to
It is love at the filter. Yes.
What do y'all have other calls you have to make
We
tonight?
do, we
Yes.
do. It's time to probably go. So
Oh,
we
it's
can
such
make
a
other
short time.
appointments, yeah.
You know I love you all, love you all, love you all, love you all. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
And be real good and stay safe and you gotta wash your hands now a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
I just love you very much, girl.
And everybody wearing a mask, but when we checked in for this it's hard for the children to understand us when we're talking.
Yeah.
But you guys,
Oh, it's
We're
pretty.
so out and about.
Oh,
We're getting ready to go out and
Yes.
I'm out and about.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
We
you.
wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Bye, boys and girls.
Bye, Santa, Mrs.
Oh, I didn't tell him what I wanted for Christmas.
Oh, well, you can write him a letter.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, kids.
Bye-bye, everybody.